Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circle of the World podcast, where we discuss Joe Abercrombie's First Law series. I am one of your hosts, Lord Chamberlain Jeffrey, and here are my co-hosts,
Archlector George,
and Harrison, the Adept Historical.
and we continue our coverage of Sharp Ends, the next entry in Joe's catalog. And for this episode, we read through Some Desperado. So let's get started. As usual, folks, you know the drill by now. Gotta thank you for your support. Means so much to me, so much to George.
It leads less to me.
Okay, that's a little rude, but okay. We really do appreciate it, though. I think I might have mentioned the last episode. We've seen a consistent uptick in downloads and new listeners now, and so want to thank all those who've been spreading the word, spreading the seed of the Circle of the World podcast. We appreciate that.
Ooh, don't say that one.
Sorry.
I don't know how I feel about that.
As someone who has spread it.
Let's just say thank you for spreading the good word.
Thank you for that. Thank you. You know how sometimes isn't it trees or flowers that sometimes just let their seeds out into the air and they whatever. Anywho, we want to just
spreading the good word, just like what Jesus Christ did. We're equivalent to the Bible,
like his apostles, right, or disciples, or whatever.
Our podcast is equivalent to the Bible.
The Bible. I could see that. Mm-hmm. So we want to thank you all for your continued support, and we appreciate it. Keep them coming. Keep sending us messages via our social media platforms or emails, circletheworldpodcast@gmail.com. Go ahead and send us any kind of email you want, except for naked pictures. We cannot accept those, okay? We can't. We just can't.
I do.
Harrison has a lot of fat material, and that's on his... You do that on your own time there, buddy, all right? So let's move on to our first segment, which is a community interaction one. Which is going to be a quick one, but George, do you kind of want to jump into it real quick?
Yeah, it's been nice to see. We've had a few extra people come onto the Discord lately, and it's just nice to see a little community start to build up, or continue to build up, which is very nice. And obviously, anybody that's listening that isn't already in the Discord and wants to be, you can just send us an email at circleoftheworldpodcast@gmail.com and let us know. We'd be glad to have you.
What's funny is we didn't actually have the Discord for like a year into the podcast or so ish, like an active Discord that we actually opened it up, maybe longer.
We're filtering people out. You have to listen to at least 50 episodes.
But if you only listen to podcasts, and maybe you saw Reddit back in the day or whatever, you probably you're getting to this point in the podcast. Like, yes, I've been hearing it for 30 episodes, but think about this: you didn't hear it for the first 30 episodes or whatever. So if you think about it, you have earned your keep. So if you made it this far, thank you very much. And we're doing not on Christmas. The day after Christmas is obviously today for the listeners. But we always take off for Christmas. But George is going through the painstaking, horrific endeavor to edit a whole bunch of blooper reels. We did one, I don't know, 2.5 years ago. We did one a long time ago, and so we will be releasing another one to you guys for New Year's, which obviously is taking the place of our Christmas recording that we normally do. So we hope you enjoy that.
We deserve a week off as well.
That's right. And Merry Christmas to everybody today. Or yesterday?
Absolutely, yeah. And just finally as well, so I am actually correct this time. I've triple checked all of the slots are filled for the beginning of every chapter for Sharp End. So ignore the previous 3 times you've heard that. They were incorrect, but this one is right. If that's confusing, then that's okay. But there is also on the 19th of January and on the 2nd of February, there are free-for-alls for Three's a Crowd and Tough Times All Over. So guys, make sure you get involved in that because it's always funny to see everybody posting their weird ideas for those, and they are pretty wacky. So I'm sure there's lots of people out there who can make something funny. I'm trying to get one of you guys to do one. Oh, Jeff, you've never made a meme, so it's your turn.
I feel like I made one.
Okay, yeah.
Well. I feel like I did. I feel like
You
I could be
did.
wrong.
Actually, you
But
did
I should.
Jeffrey recording after editing 3 episodes of the Circle of the World podcast that you posted on House That Made Me when we very first launched. It was like a guy just smoking a cigarette. It
Ben
was so
Affleck.
funny.
Sad
Ben
Ben
Affleck,
Affleck meme. That's a classic.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, George, thank you for being correct for once about the memeing every chapters. Or at
Tried really
least
hard.
open ones. But now we'll move on to our speaking of memeing every chapters, George. Well, this is our best meme of the week, and that's you. So take it away.
So we have Tam Al-Bor returned, who we always love to see Tam Al-Bor returned, and we're glad to see that he's posting more regularly again. It was the highlight of my week once upon a time, and it has become again. I'm not entirely sure where this image is from, but I think it might be from the Book of Mormon. And I think the context of the meme of the picture is that he's trying to make things sound better than they are. And so it's nice to see finally a happy ending in the first law. I really hope Cardia and his old friends enjoyed that eatery they planned on visiting. There's a very, very optimistic view on hell. And I especially love the comment as well. It's like somebody has also had the same idea that I did, that maybe Cardia was going to be made into an eater, which would be like the ultimate sacrilege. And so somebody asked, do you think Cardia was turned into an eater or into kebabs? And the reply was, Donna.
I also was thinking about that, the Cardia being turned into an eater. I don't think he could be. I don't think he would. They'd be like, eat this person. He'd say, no. They're like, you're going to die. He'd be like, I don't care. What? What are you going to do? I have to eat the person. I'm not going to do
it. Might as well kill me.
I agree. But yeah, thank you very much, Tam Al-Bor return for that.
Thank you for that, George. We appreciate that. And we hope that you continue. Well, everybody that's a listener of the podcast continues to create more dank memes, please. We need it. We love it. So we'll move on to our only chapter read through for this episode. And this is, like we said, Some Desperado, taking place in the near country in the summer of 584. Anno Domini and all that. And, well, this one, ladies and gentlemen, is about Shy South.
What?
Yeah.
Shy?
Yeah, Shy. We haven't seen Shy in quite some time, not since the Red Country, which we just did.
Yeah,
which we just read. Yeah.
Red Country also takes place in 590, so this is 6 years before, to give us some perspective of how old Shy is, right?
Yeah,
she's probably at youngest she's probably like 16, youngest, but she's probably more like 18, 19, something like that. So she's probably 24, 25 in the story.
In this story, I thought she was.
No. In this story, she's like, I'm saying she's between 16 to 19 years old ish.
I think considering that we know that Pitt gets mentioned, and we know that Pitt is 6, right?
Yeah.
Around that.
Yeah.
So we know that it must be between 6 and 4 years.
No, it says summer. It's in 584.
Oh yeah.
And then Red Country takes place in 590. My thought is her age, because it's kind of a question mark whenever she's in the story of Red Country. Like, oh, is she like 20? Like, everyone says she's young, but like she's actually probably closer to like 24, 25, because here seems to be a grown being, even if she's, maybe she's 16, maybe she's 22 in the story. That would maybe fit up better with how old her mom would be. I don't know. I'm just.
I thought Shy in Red Country was between 25 to like 29.
I thought she was in her.
That would put her at 19 here, so that would still roughly make sense, especially because it does say in this story here that she'd been away for at least a year.
So I think she's probably
she's been on the lam
on the run
for a couple years already.
Yeah, so she probably like left home at 17, ran around, did this whole thing, and then at the end of the story, she's around 19 or so, and then 6 years later, she's around 25 or so. That puts her about 5 years younger than Temple. I think that lines up.
Okay.
That's right, guys. We figured it out. You're welcome.
Look at that. The Adeptus coming in clutch We just need to light a fire under his balls, and then he finally gets things right. All right, love it. So
Rude.
yes. So we the first thing we see about Shy is apparently she's riding into town and into a town, a nondescript empty town, and her horsey just collapses. Poor horsey. She was riding him hard, and apparently this horse had a fucking arrow in his chest or his shoulder or something, and so she falls over and she is hurt, but nothing's broken, right? And here, boys, let's talk this out. She is looking around this town and she's being chased by a group of people. For what? We'll find out in a bit. But the idea is she's on the run from some people that want to turn her in because of all the wanted dead or alive posters, those bills, right? About whatever she's done. She had accidentally killed a shopkeep girl or something like that. I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think she mentions that to some degree that she killed some. Yeah, inside of to Temple, she talks about she killed somebody.
Yeah. So, Shy is kind of going through it, right? Kind of going through it. There's a bunch of people that are chasing her, and then it turns out she runs into a tavern, steps on a nail, fucking foot's bleeding, which is like, oh, tetanus. Watch out now, folks. Watch out. And I really, this is an interesting chapter because it's like not a lot happens, and then some stuff happens, and then not a lot happens. But basically, the gist of it is 3 people are chasing her. They're not on her heels. They're they take some time before they get into the town as well. But they are Neri, Dodd, and was it Jeg?
Jag.
You do say that not a lot happens in this early part of the chapter, but I do like the fact that I think how descriptive it is sort of like reflective on like how much Shy's like it's like her mental state, like she's like processing everything so much that it comes through in the prose. I especially do like this bit when she tries to go into the tavern and she's already coming up with sort of like a like an excuse. Like she's done that in a monologue. I'm going to tell them like, oh, they killed my brother, and doing all this crazy shit to try and get people on her side, even though she knows she's lying. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, it also is. It's curious to see how her mindset is the same and different, kind of like what we saw with Temple. With her, she's walking in and she is the mindset of like, oh, I got to figure it out. She's on the fly. She's good with her words. She's, manipulative. Whereas before it's kind of cute and fun. Here it seems a lot more, desperate, a lot more frantic. She's very wired. She's adrenaline is coursing through. Whereas later on she's a lot more calm. It's both an age thing and obviously, because she experiences this. So. Well, what do you want to talk? What do you think about her mindset, Jeff?
The mindset seems pretty akin to somebody that's young and also have gone through some relatively difficult times, like some traumatic experiences. Obviously she had wanted to get away from from what we remember in Red Country, from how she talked about her mother. Her mother wasn't necessarily a saint, right? A lot of cursing and maybe some abuse there. It's one thing like corporal punishment, like hitting, or maybe it goes to like a different level. So it seems like she just kind of wanted to get away from the farm and wanted to kind of just like make something of herself. And somehow, some way, things get out of hand. A person dies, and now next thing you know, she's a fucking outlaw and running with outlaws. And
what's crazy is that she was up in the north, she would be probably, she would just be like, she wouldn't be seen as a bad thing. She'd be like wonderful. That's what's interesting about this.
Yeah, maybe. But you know what? Because like she didn't grow like people like she didn't grow up around like violence or life of crime, right? And so like this is obviously this is almost like a paradigm shift for her in a negative way, obviously, and she hasn't been able to reconcile that. So this is why you see her like think the way she thinks, and that near like panic induced, like, they killed my brother. Like that. It's like, what? What's going on? Girl, what are you talking about? You just acting crazy right now.
Tweaking.
So, huh? She's tweaking. Yeah. Tweaking is the word. And she tweaks even more when those three gentlemen come riding into town. And she's like, fuck. And she even tried to do the thing where, with her foot bleeding, she tried to like lead the footprints one way to a room and then hops on one foot and hops into another room. So that way she doesn't, obviously lead them to where she's actually hiding.
And I like the fact that she scatters the silver out as well, and it's just like hopefully they just pick it up and leave as well.
That's right.
Yeah, it kind of shows her mindset. Like, even though she's obviously seen some shit, she's frantic and all this stuff where she's at now, like, she's still shy. Like, she still has this core personality that she's not really there for the money. That's not really why she left home. She just got tired of being at home. She thought there was going to be a better life outside of that farm, and she took it for granted, as she says later on. And so at this point, like, she's in survival mode, and she's pretty scrappy, as we'll see, as she shows later on too. It's just interesting to see how she is way more like scared here than she is later on.
Oh yeah. And what, you know what? Even in Red Country, she admits it. Like, she's just scared, but she just has to she knows that she just got to do what she's got to do.
Yeah, I think it's different too. Like in Red Country, she's everything she's doing is for the right reason, right? She's trying to save her brother and her sister. 90% of the time, she has Lamb with her, who is obviously a hulking behemoth of a man.
Even completely different level of violence.
Yeah, completely different level of violence. So she feels, whether she doesn't ever actually say it, but she feels kind of safe, obviously, with him up until a certain point. And so here,
up until the end of her fucking leg. Sorry.
Here, though, she's not motivated by anything other than survival. She feels like she feels like a piece of shit. She's completely alone, faced off against three people who are trying to turn her in / kill her. So,
yeah, poor Shy. She's led quite the life, huh? So she is able to, like, she's in one of the rooms in the tavern, and she's able to peek out like one of the like second floor windows and see that the trio, Dodd, Jeg, and Neri, come into town. We get the vibe that Jeg is like the leader, and Todd and him are brothers, and Neri is just the tag along guy. But it seems like Dodd's a bit of an idiot, a little bit, or maybe not an idiot, but he's just he ain't the sharpest tool.
I think that's a bit of normative determinism, isn't it? If somebody called Dodd, he's not too bright.
Oh Lord. So and Jeg directs Neri to go look for Shy, and the first place he starts is the tavern, which is Liars. While Dodd, what he's gonna do is pick up all the money that's like scattered around the street because Shy is just out here making it rain. Before obviously they get there. And so Neri follows the trail of blood. For somebody that's a good tracker, he kind of like just walked right into that trap. And so Shy sees her moment, right? As soon as he goes past her, she basically charges him and kind of just like flips him over the railing. And he falls to the clearing down. He's like, what the fuck? And at that moment, then Jeg's already in the tavern. He sees her, and he's like, Shy South! And yelling out her name and everything. So he chases her up the stairs. She goes across the the landing, and basically just like jumps out the window to try to, land on the balcony of a building across the narrow street. And she almost makes it. It's like classic, like, boom, the railing hits her ribs, and then we forget that this is kind of like the Wild West, if there's like a comparable here, and it's empty and shoddily built, so that balcony railing all just fall and collapse. And Shy's like poof, and she lands hard, and obviously she's in pain. Again, nothing broken, but she, enough where like she can't like she's not really up to like to run, right? And then, but she starts crawling away, dragging herself away. And Jeg, he goes back downstairs. He goes outside, and he walks up to her and he's like, "I got you now, bitch. I got you now." And the funny thing is, what we learn is that she was running with this crew for a bit. This was a crew that I guess they were bandits, you could say. Apparently, her and Dodd got down and dirty a few times whenever she was lonely and bored. But then I guess as soon as like the reward for her capture got significantly high enough, they were like, "All right, let's try to turn this bitch in alive."
You know what's funny about that too is the fact that out of this whole little crew, and they all run around together, working together, only one of them actually got the reputation and the wanted sign and the nickname and the bounty. So it just goes to show probably who was doing the most work for that crew, anyways. Probably Shy. She was still taking care of other people, more than you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Doing the dirty work, doing what needs to be done. Oh, Shy South, never change, never change. And so there's a bit of like talking back and forth, but really, Jeg wants to just tie her up and let's just take her back into wherever to see obtain that reward money. And Chai kind of like tricks him a little bit by flinging some sand in his eye.
Yeah, it's pocket sand. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, and while he has that sword, she stabs him in the shoulder and I think somewhere else in the back or the gut. But then he cracks because he stabs her. She stabs him in the arm of his sword arm in the shoulder there. And so then he punches her. They scuffle a little bit, and then as he's trying to grab the sword with his left hand, she obviously doesn't let the moment pass her by. She charges again. They scuffle, and she stabs him a bunch of times this time. And then the last time, she just basically fucking overhead stabs him through the fucking head, through his top hat, which apparently he had a top hat. So that was
which is funny actually because he's like wears it all like like he's I'm the king of the fucking union. That's how he wears it.
Like really trying to make himself out like this like fucking bandit king, like with a red coat and the saber and the top hat. It's so stupid.
It really is. And so then he just starts going. When she stabs him, he starts like just sputtering almost, right?
Yeah, he goes like, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like at first he says something like he says her name. Smoke, right? That's right. He doesn't even. I apologize because he doesn't even call her by her name when he enters the tavern. He says Smoke because that was her outlaw name, Smoke, which was like okay, and just I guess that's why no one ever came for her. You know what I mean? Because they didn't know her real name. They just knew her by Smoke. And so,
but yeah, you're right. He basically like he keeps trying to say her name, and it just gets less and less like legible.
Yeah,
it's like, funny, but it's also pretty gruesome.
Yeah, it is pretty gruesome. I'm not gonna lie. It's just ugh. And so then she goes back into the tavern through the back door this time. Hits Neri again with the flat of the sword that she took from Jeg, and collects his bow, right, and an arrow. And she goes out into the street in the front, and Dodd is out there collecting all the money, and he finally collects it. The last bit of like the last mark, as they call it. And he's by a well, and he turns around. He's like, "Hey guys, I got all the money." And then he sees Shy with the bow drawn, and he's like, "Oh, what do I do here?" And so then there's kind of like this standoff, but it's not really a standoff because obviously she has the upper hand. She has a bow, and he's like, "You're not gonna shoot me, Smoke. You and me, we have a thing. Like you're not gonna do it. What happened to Jag?" Stuff like this.
I don't know. It might just be because of being influenced by the audiobook, but he definitely sounds a lot more, say, like plaintive and a lot more like contrite. He's like actually trying to be genuine. Like, really? You can't do it to me. Like, we shared something and this and that, instead of being more like manipulative.
interesting.
Which makes it all the more tragic when she actually does choose him.
Yeah,
Although fuck him, he was going to turn her in.
No. She made the right call, but I do think it's interesting that like, especially Pacey, he's having a good time with this one. Like, Shad doesn't say much. She's like, it's all in her head mostly, and Neri is like dead before he does anything essentially, and obviously, Jeg has had the most lines, but he just kind of sounds like a, pirate or something. But Dottie actually does put some effort into him being like, he does sound like genuine, and that's something that the audiobook captures really well. It's lots of times, somebody says something, it's like, oh, like, come on, we shared something, we did, like, we had something, like he's so stupid, like he actually believes that, like surely she won't, because like they slept together, obviously they're boyfriend girlfriend now one time. like he's a fucking moron. But like, what, maybe if he had tried to help, maybe she wouldn't have. But Shy does not waste a moment. I wonder where she learned that from. Once you have her moment,
she does let some time pass by before she actually shoots him.
I know, but I meant like, she's not gonna like not kill him. She's gonna take her moment. She's gonna kill him.
Yeah, she's gonna kill him because she feels like she has to, or else he's gonna probably keep chasing her, right? But he does say that it wasn't his idea. That it was what Nere's and Jegs and all that.
He does try to put them off as well when they first arrive. He's like, "Can't we just like take this silver and go?"
Right, he does do that, and she
And
does
that's the thing
hear
that
that.
makes it kind of tragic in a certain way, not in like poor guy, not like that, but like in the way of like, he genuinely was like, oh, we have something, I mean, can we just like not do this? He just is weak sauce. So
I do like the line as well, and it's like the thing about drawing a bow is that striking it and drawing it and knocking the arrow and taking aim takes effort, but letting go doesn't mean anything. And I was like, that's interesting. It's a good line.
And well, the thing, one thing I noticed is that, like, Dot had collected all that money, right? Put it in a bag, and when Shy finally shoots him, he's like, "You shot me," and she's like, "Sorry," and he's like, "Sorry," and she's like, "I guess, he like slowly like turns, and he just like kind of like tosses the bag towards the well, and Shy's like, and she runs, and she basically like slams into the well, and she's able to grab the bag, which is great. Problem is, the bag also just came open in her hand, and so all the money fell down into the well. She's like, motherfucker. And then, Dot is actually dead at this point. He's just laying there all like, bleh. And then, so she's got nothing, right? No money now. And as she looks like down the main thoroughfare out of the town, like backwards from the direction which they came, there's another pile of dust. As in, there's a good amount of people riding towards the town now.
Lawmen, Pinkertons.
And we don't know who exactly, but since this town is empty, we can only imagine that they're following at least Shy and these three. And so Shy goes, "Oh my god." She's so like fed up with everything that she just like looks to the heavens and screams out, "Fuck."
Yeah. It sort of adds like an extra layer of like hopelessness to it, because the three that are chasing her have caught her up to her, thinking that they're going to be able to turn her in, but the chances are that these new guys are just going to kill them anyway.
Good chance. Yeah, good chance. You never know. And so obviously Shy's kind of got to get out of Dodge, right? So she goes back in, gets more supplies from Neri, takes Dodd's hat, apparently, all this stuff, and then she basically wrangles all three of the horses, and then she basically just she legitimately just skedaddles, and she's like, "Fuck this!" The idea is that she's gonna get out of there and hopefully escape and make it back home, which we know by the time Red Country comes around, she does, right? So she basically, she obviously thinks about like how things came to this point, but that's something that she's been going to be harping on for quite some time. And then she leaves town, and that's the end of that chapter. Boys, how do you rate it? What are your scores?
I think it's interesting because I think this, and I thought this about Hell as well, because they're so centered on Temple and Shy as more, as a flashback and an explanation for their backstories. That I feel like these two almost could have been in the book
Mhm.
in Red Country, and maybe Joe wrote them for that and thought that they didn't quite fit and they didn't really need to be there.
Mhm.
So giving it as an extra chapter sort of like is a bit of a bonus, but um, I think it provides like a lot of context for Shy because obviously we know bits in here and there, and she was called Smoke, and somebody died, etc. But to see like actually in person and to see how she feels about all of this at the time, I think it's a very good chapter. I really enjoy it. I'm actually going to give this one a 7.5.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Good one. Harrison.
I think it does provide a lot of insight into her. Not as much as it does Temple, but that's just because Temple has I mean, and I don't mean this in like a jab. I'm like I think I would have used to when I was younger, but like she is not as a quote unquote complex character as Temple, but I don't mean that as a mark against Joe's writing or her character. Like she is just a better person with better standards and a better moral compass, and we've talked about her multiple times in Red Country. So I would say in this read through, I appreciated it more just to kind of see, how she's matured, and especially compared to most of the other characters who don't. She actually like takes this experience and really learns from it, and you know, everything she says is true. And when I first read Red Country, I thought maybe she's exaggerating a little bit, maybe she's kind of, but she doesn't seem like she is at all. She lived a hard life for a couple of years. When she was young, she learned her lesson, made some mistakes, and became better for it. So, and this just provides better context for that. I do like Dodd for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe the same reason that Shy did, right? For oh, you're kind of adorable because you're so stupid. um, and so I don't know, but I appreciate that. I like how at the end she like was like, oh shit, the money, like, and she
Yeah.
goes to grab it and it just gets screwed anyways. I wonder if it would have been different. If she had the money, would she have stayed on the run? Would she have gone home? Like, I don't know. So
She,
I think I'll. What, Jeff?
I see. Go ahead.
Okay. I think I'll give it a 6 out of 9. I don't enjoy it as much as the other ones. I just appreciate it.
Mm. Yeah. I think I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 9 fingers. I'll be honest. It's a well written chapter. It gives us background and context on Shy, like you said. I do like Dodd as well, Harrison. I think he's like the nicer out of the 3 goofballs, right? Like for him, it's kind of like, what's the easy way out? Let's not really like have to hurt somebody. Like, just we have the money here. Let's just get the fuck out. But you don't want to pass up on 4,000 more marks, you idiot. It's like, oh Jesus. But Dodd is, I guess, a dud, and I did find it funny where we get that one part where Shy kind of tells herself she promises, like, if I can make it back out of here, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna wake up every day with a pep in my step. I'm not gonna call Lamb a coward anymore, and I'm gonna be very grateful. It's just all like, wow, yeah. Well, we know how that goes.
Hey,
So
you
I
can
thought that
change
was
your
funny.
direction in life, but it's harder to change your habits.
Exactly. So I thought that was interesting, but it is just a brief look into the past that Shy was feeling so guilty about in Red Country, and like I said, we got the idea, right? How she started this whole outlaw thing was like, it's still a little unclear, but has something to do with a market a girl that worked at a market or a store or something, and things got out of hand. She died, and she had to just leave, and then that's pretty much it. And traveled, throughout the near country to the point where somebody else gets strung up in place of her, because they kind of look similar, or maybe somebody was just like fuck it, and then that gave her all she needed to kind of just go back home. Obviously, this is later on. This is before Red Country, but after Some Desperado. But this is nice.
I like the fact that that's the one thing that Shy brings up to Temple.
Is that somebody else?
Not these 3 guys, because they're fuckers. They don't matter. But that the fact that this was like an innocent,
Yeah.
And she, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good point, George. I didn't think about that. Like,
Mhm.
Shy is so much more mentally healthy than most of the characters you read about in most of fiction, because she feels like a complete character.
Yeah.
That that ironically she understands the difference between killing for survival and doing, and trying to make it through and doing what she has to, and actually doing the wrong thing. I think killing somebody who's a bystander.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's really annoying in fiction whenever people are like, killing is wrong. I'm like, come on, man.
If I
any
kill the
death is
bad
wrong.
guy, then I'm just as bad as them.
Yeah.
We
I'm not
got
going to turn
it.
into my enemy.
Oh my god. I hear you. Well, I mean that's the chapter read through, folks. So now we'll move on to our final segment, which is our character spot. Boys, who are we spotlighting?
It's the horsey,
It's the horsey.
the true victim in all this. He didn't choose this. He didn't
did
choose
not
to be
choose
an
this.
outlaw
Horses
horse.
never choose a shit. Poor horse.
Horses are the true victims of war.
They really are.
And in general.
Them and pigeons.
I
Man,
saw a
fuck
war horse in school.
Did you? I saw horses. Jeff, did you say fuck pigeons? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, fuck pigeons.
I love
You
pigeons.
know why
These
you
are
have so
cool.
many pigeons in your region? Because they're all war veterans. They're descendants of war veteran pigeons. They came back home with no jobs, to no income, and they're just trying to live off the streets. And you're shaming them. These poor pigeons. And now we don't take them to war anymore. And now they're unappreciated. Now they just fly around trying to make ends meet. And you're just shitting on them. Just because they shit on you.
Sorry. I guess, I just have an adverse reaction to being shit on by a fucking flying
Now them
rat.
crows.
No, crows are cool.
Oh no, crows are cool as shit.
Yeah.
I know.
I was gonna say Harrison has his priorities all switched up. But yeah, I mean, it's really the horse. We're kind of like serious, and it's Dodd. I mean, that's really like who the fuck else are we gonna highlight? Can't highlight Shy. We just talked about Shy. So yeah, I mean, poor horse. Didn't deserve this. Shy, you know better. How dare you? And how dare you let Neri shoot an arrow into its chest? Like, come on, girl, what the fuck? It's a fucking horse.
But I do like the fact of that little line as well when Shy's like she used to get attached to horses, but then she's just lost so many and that it's just not worth it anymore.
Yeah,
makes me sad.
It doesn't, which is why it's a good thing for the most part she sticks to oxen and ox carts in Red Country, except for the very few times where she rides horse. But whatever. And then Dodd, he's one of those simple idiots that's there for a good time, but clearly not a long time. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say about him. I mean, this guy, what's funny? What's just funny is like, there's Neri getting, fucking power slammed from 2 floors up, right? Chai jumps through a window, obviously an open window, but lands almost lands on a balcony across the street. The thing collapses. Fucking, we have Jed going so a smoke, right, and all this stuff, and there's a fight. And throughout all this, Dodd is completely oblivious, deaf as a doorknob, just looking for the money in the street. And then he's like, I got the money.
I didn't think about that as well. Yeah.
Oh my god! What if?
So
oh my god! Maybe this is worse than we thought. Maybe Shy killed.
Maybe he's actually
a mentally challenged person. Yeah.
No, don't say that. Well, we learned some hard truths about Dodd. It seems like. Well, that'll be it.
I've got to say, I wish we talked about the part when Jeg says to like Neri, it's like, you must be the best tracker in the fucking near country, and it's like, and he goes, yeah, I reckon she's here. And it's like, I know she's here. A horse is 10 times away.
Jeffrey, put that in.
Me or George, let's fit that in somewhere.
We'll figure out a way to fit that in there. Yeah.
That's our show, everyone. We want to thank you all for listening and supporting this podcast. As you know, this is a passion project for the 3 of us, and your support means oh so much.
Merry Christmas, and join us next week for a special blooper episode.
And make sure you follow us on all of our social media or shoot us an email at circleoftheworldpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcast from. And please make sure to rate and review us. Thank you all again for listening.
You shot me.